everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing and demoing the new Sonia G Sky Face Brush Set. And my brushes are dirty, and that's because I've already done a demo. You all already know I'm going to be doing a demonstration portion in this video and putting these brushes to work. So this brush set is brand new from Sonia G. You can purchase her brushes on beautylish.com, and this set retails for $270. So this brush set has 5 different brushes, as you all can see, and these are multi-purposeful, multitasking brushes. So look at the handle of these brushes. Super beautiful, striking blue color in contrast with the black ferrule. So the name of this brush set is the Sky Face Set, and I definitely think that was inspired by the color of the handles. So let me read you all the description of what it says on beautylish.com. The Sky Face Set by Sonia G will be your most reliable makeup application companion. Crafted with quality and innovation in mind, the Japanese-made face brushes feature new shapes for greater control, comfort, and ease for everyone, from beginner to pro. Functional and versatile, the Psychoho goat hair bristles allow you to effortlessly buff, set, contour, blend, and more in the comfort of your home or on the go. Like I said, there are 5 different brushes in this set. So the first brush is the Master Face Brush, and this one says that you can use it to seamlessly buff and blend mineral foundation, powders, blush, or bronzer. The Classic Cheek Brush, it says that this one has a curved ferrule. You can apply your blush, bronzer, contour, or highlight with precision and intensity. And then we have the Mini Cheek Brush. It says with a fluffy, airy shape, effortlessly apply highlight, contour, or blush and blend up intensity as needed. And then the Soft Cheek Brush, use this fluffy medium density brush for a sheer to medium application of blush, bronzer, contour, highlight, setting, or finishing powder. And then lastly, we have the Worker Fan Brush, which this one is a smaller version of the Sculpt One brush, and it can do anything you want it to do. You can use it to apply your blush, bronzer, or contour with incredible control. These brushes are brand new to Sonia G's line. She does not have any brushes that are duplicates in this set. And these brushes are handcrafted in Kumano, Japan, as are all of her brushes. So these are made by brush artisans. So these people eat, sleep, breathe brushes. So these brushes are designed by Sonia G and crafted by the artisans. And they are made with goat hair. There are 2 different types of goat hair that these brushes are made out of. So bear with me as I try to pronounce these. So I believe the first one is pronounced Psychoho goat hair. It says that Psychoho goat hair is made from the chest, and this type of hair is softer and more delicate. And the other type of hair that they are using is, hold on, Hakutatsuho goat hair. I really would love a lesson. But this type of goat hair is made from the shoulder and the forefoot side, and it is moderate in elasticity and durability. Brushes are my favorite thing to add to my collection, so I am extremely excited to have these, and I'm excited to share my thoughts with you all. So let's go ahead and jump into the demonstration of these brushes, and I will walk you through how you can use each one of these brushes on your face. So I hope that you all enjoy, and let me know if you have these brushes on your wish list, or if you've already purchased them. Let me know what you think about them down in the comment section. So enjoy. Right now I have on my foundation and my concealer and all that good stuff, but I don't have the rest of the products on my face. So let me remove my huge earrings that you all always make comments about, my big old hoops. I'm going to finish off the rest of my face using these brushes. So I need to set my entire face with my powder that I typically use. So I'm going to go in with the Master Face Brush first. This brush is so soft, so dipping straight into this powder. And this is a pretty compact brush, so a little bit is going to go a long ways. So I'm going to use this brush to buff my powder into my face. Such a soft brush. I am loving this brush for all over my face. This is how I would preferably use this brush, just because it is compact, but at the same time it does splay out, so it helps me blend out that powder all over and not over apply. So I am loving the way that it feels. Super soft but impactful. Once I have my face set, I like to go in with my bronzer and define it, just because I like to look a little bit more crisp and I like my face to be a little bit more sculpted. I can basically go in with any 4 of these brushes to do my bronzer. I can go in with the Master Face brush and do my bronzer. The Master Face brush is going to apply the bronzer a little bit more prominently, and I want my bronzer to be a little bit softer. So then let's look at these 3 brushes. The classic cheek brush, which you can absolutely carve out your face with your bronzer with this brush. This brush is a little bit smaller than I typically use for my bronzer just because I like to cover a lot of ground. So I probably would use this one more so for the color. This brush will be really good for me for bronzer if I wanted a lighter application. This one is the soft cheek brush, and you can go in and get a really nice soft bronzed effect. Most likely for me, I would go in with this brush. This one is the Worker Fan brush just because it's a little bit bigger than the other brushes, and it's going to give me that nice soft bronzy look, and because of the shape, it is going to blend out that bronzer perfectly. If you have a smaller face, this may be too large for your face, but for my face shape, this is going to be bomb. So I'm going to dip into the Benefit Hoola bronzer, and I'm going to bronze my face. Yes, so I love these type brushes from Sonia because you can use this side and apply it, and then you can kind of turn it on the side. The fan properties of the brush is going to help you blend it out and diffuse it so beautifully and so easily. That bronzer blended out so seamlessly, it just took like 2 seconds. So that's what I'm all about, convenience and something that is going to work. Next, I want to be highlighted. So I have 3 more brushes that I would use for highlight. You can use the fan brush for your highlight. For me, I prefer a more specific placement for my highlight, so I like the smaller brushes. So the mini cheek brush is going to give you the most precise application for your highlight, which I do prefer that a lot because I don't like to have an overly highlighted face for the most part. For me, I would also go into the classic cheek brush to do my highlight. I can use the soft cheek brush easily and apply highlight, and it's not going to over apply it for me. But the smaller your face is, the smaller the brush you need to use, just because you don't want to overpower your face with products. I'm going to use both of these brushes for this demonstration to show you. First, I'm going to go into the soft cheek brush, and I'm going to again dip into this Benefit palette and take the color Cookie. I'm going to diffuse this product on the high planes of my cheeks. This brush just really blended it out, and it diffused it so beautifully. There are no harsh lines. I love how soft it looks. For this to be as intense of a highlighter as it is, it looks so soft, and that's because of this brush. Other side, mini cheek brush, and I'm going to apply it here, and you all can see this brush is applying the highlighter a little bit more concentrated, and it's making it a lot more intense, and that's because this brush is more compact, so it's going to apply the product a little bit heavier, which sometimes if that is your intended look, then you're going to need a brush like this because it is going to allow you to be detailed and make those colors pop because it applies more at one time. The mini cheek brush will also be good for highlighting your nose, or if you want to turn it on the side, you can contour your nose with this brush, but it is a little bit more of a diffused brush, so be careful with that because you don't want to end up putting contour or bronzer on your nose where you don't want it to be. So you may want to go in with something that's a little bit more defined, but for a highlight, this is perfect. So now I need to add some color on my face, and I'm going to use one of my favorite blushes. This is Blush Baby by MAC and the classic cheek brush. So I'm just going to dip into this. I got a little bit of the color on my brush, you can see, and then drape it on my cheek area and bring it back. Oh, this brush is so soft, but it is definitely applying that color, but it's not overly applying it. It's always good to start off soft and then build. So I love the way that that just applied, and this is so soft and smooth. Right now I have irritation on my cheeks. I have a breakout, and so I don't want to use a brush that's not soft, that's going to irritate. But then I don't want my brushes to be too soft to where it's not applying. This is perfect. Here's what my face looks like after using the Sky Face set, and let me go ahead and say, I love the way that it looks. I feel like my makeup blended out so easily, and it looks so effortless, and this brush set helped me apply my makeup in a little bit less time than it typically takes me to apply my makeup, just because these work so well to blend out that product and make sure that everything looks beautiful and effortless and there's no lines of demarcation on my face. I feel that there's so much emphasis that is placed on blending out your eyeshadow, but the same amount of emphasis needs to be placed on blending out the products on your face, and this brush set is phenomenal in doing that. I know that you can do a lot of things with one powder brush, but having Several powder brushes can help you be a little bit more detailed in your placement, and you all saw in the demonstration how much of a difference brushes can make in your makeup application. And I love these brushes. They are all multi-purposeful, so you can use each brush for several different things, and these brushes are going to help you apply your makeup in a more effortless manner, and it's going to help you blend it out a lot more quickly and a lot more efficiently. They are beautiful to look at. Sonia G has done a great job once again. She and her team are geniuses. They understand what it takes to make a great brush. These brushes feel familiar to me, like I know what to do with them, but I don't have anything like these in my collection. There are some similarities that I pulled that I want to go ahead and show you guys, but overall I feel as though these brushes are very unique. Starting with the Master Face brush, as you all can see, this one is a more rounded, compact brush. I really don't have a dupe for this brush in my collection. You can use this to blend out your face, buff out the products, and you guys saw me apply my powder that I typically use on my face with this brush, and it applied it beautifully. The three that I felt like compared the most that I have in my collection, which again aren't similar, I love the rougher brush, but it is not as compact as the Sonia G Worker Face brush. This brush is a little bit more fluid in its motion. I prefer this brush a little bit more for my cheek products than I do to apply it all over my face. This brush is going to allow me to really stamp in that powder and get a little bit more coverage if I want to, or blend it out, and it moves the product a little bit more. The next brush that I felt like was sort of similar is the NARS number 3 brush, but this brush has more so of a domed shape, and it still is compact, but it has a little bit more of a flatness to it than the Sonia G brush does. And then lastly, I have the Sonia G Cheek Pro brush that she launched in her other face set, and this brush is not really similar, but this one has a little bit of the roundness to it, but again, it is a little bit flatter, and this brush is much smaller, so this one is super unique to my collection. Next, looking at the classic cheek brush. Although this brush is very soft, it is going to still give you that really nice, effortless, airbrushed cheek look, and I love that, and I love that it is versatile enough to use it for your bronzer, for your highlight, or for your blush. So this is one of my favorite styles for a cheek brush. So I have a few comparisons in my collection, and none of them, again, are super similar, but there are some that have a few comparisons. Starting with the Wayne Goss number 2 brush. I love this brush for my highlight. It's probably my most used brush for my highlight. It is forever dirty. I'm surprised it's clean right now, but I love this brush for that, but I don't really use it for my bronzer or for my blush just because it is so angled and it's so pointed. I like it for the precision that it gives my highlight. The difference between this brush and the Sonia G brush is that this brush is a lot flatter, so I would use this brush more for my blush just because it's going to allow me to really lay on that product but yet blend it out at the same time. And I can do that with the Wayne Goss brush, but it's not flat, so I prefer it just to get those high points of my cheek for my highlight. So I really like this one. My Hakuhodo S111 brush. I love this brush, but it is more flat than the Sonia G brush, and it is a little bit bigger, but I use this brush all the time for my cheek products. This one is going to pile on a lot of products if you don't watch it, so I do have to be a little bit more light-handed with this. This one applies the product in a little bit of a softer manner, so you can go in with a light hand and then build it up a little bit easier than you can with this brush, which just picks up that product and it will put it on your face real quick. My Refer P09A brush, which I adore. Again, it is that pointed shape, just like the Wayne Goss brush, and it's similar to this brush, but it doesn't have the same flatness. But I do feel like these brushes are very close. If this brush just was a little bit flatter, it would be almost the same brush as this one. Lastly, a Royal and Langnickel brush. This one is the BOM38 brush, and again, same thing, point, highlight. This one, flat, I would use it for the highlight and the blush. So as you all see, I have similar shapes to this brush in my collection, but not a dupe. The mini cheek brush. I love brushes like this for precision, and that is everything, especially if you do not want to overwhelm the face with highlight, or like I said, if you have a smaller face and you're like, oh my gosh, whenever I put on highlight it just gets everywhere. This is going to be your best friend because it is fluffy enough to blend out that highlight, as you all saw, but it still applies it in a more intense manner, and it allows you to be very specific with where you place that product. I have two other brushes in my collection that I feel are somewhat similar. One of them is by Sonia G, but it is absolutely not the same brush. I don't have anything quite like this brush in my collection. The other brush that I have by Sonia G is the Detail Pro brush, and I love this brush for highlight, but this brush is a lot smaller. This new brush is better suited for me because this brush is small and I can work it out, but I can also use this brush on my eye space just because I have so much real estate there. But this one is better for me for a highlight on the face just because it's a little bit bigger and I can cover a little bit more ground a little bit faster, so I love that. So the next brush that I have that is somewhat similar is again another Royal and Langnickel brush. This one is the BOM 265, which I love this brush for a highlight as well, but this one is almost like a flared out oversized eyeshadow blending brush, and it doesn't quite have the flatness of the new Sonia G brush, the mini cheek brush, the soft cheek brush. I don't really have anything in my collection that is similar to this. The only thing that I could think of is this MAC brush. This one is the 137 brush. It almost looks like a broom, and I always wanted to love this brush, but I always felt like it wasn't compact enough, and I felt like it didn't have enough bristles in the brush, and I felt like the brush was overall too long, and so it really wasn't functional for me. Sonia G soft cheek brush is everything that I wanted the MAC 137 brush to be. A little bit softer, a little bit fuller, and a little bit shorter. Boom. Sonia G killed it. I love this brush. It's super unique. I don't have anything like this in my collection. And lastly, we have the Worker fan brush, which I adore. I love a fan brush that's like this, that's thicker, that you can use for your bronzer or for your blush to really sculpt out the face. I pulled a few of them that I have to compare. Firstly is a traditional fan brush. This is the Wayne Goss number 15 brush, and these brushes are not similar aside from the fact that they are fan brushes, but I just wanted to show you all how much thicker the Sonia G brush is in comparison to a traditional fan brush, which most of them are going to be thin like this, and they are more so suited to apply your highlight. This one reminds me somewhat of the Wayne Goss 24S brush, and I really like this brush. I use it all the time for bronzer, so these brushes will serve the same purpose in my collection, but the Sonia G brush is just a little bit smaller and a little bit less full than the Wayne Goss brush. The Sonia G Sculpt 2 brush, and these brushes are very similar in what purpose they're going to serve me. Again, I would use this for bronzer. I use it for bronzer all the time, but this brush applies the bronzer a little bit more prominently than this brush does. So this one gives me a lighter application, and this one gives me a little bit of a heavier application because this brush is a little bit thicker and it is more compact. And lastly, I have the Sonia G Fan Pro brush, not because I think these brushes are similar aside from the fact that they're fans, but I just wanted to show you all the difference in terms of the size. All in all, I love this brush set. Sonia G is a beast at what she does. You can tell she loves brushes. You can tell that it is her passion just because of the craftsmanship that goes into these brushes. Just everything about them seems like it was carefully thought out, and I absolutely love this set. I love the handles of the set. I love the goat hair that was used for these brushes. I love how everything works in conjunction with one another. If you want to take your makeup artistry to the next level, be it if you do makeup on yourself or on clients, then invest in some brushes. You can't go wrong with Sonia G brushes, and these are amazing. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you are signed up on Beautylicious restock notification list, so whenever these brushes come back in stock, Beautylicious is really good at letting you all know so you can get a chance to get your hands on these if you did not. But if you did get your hands on these, let me know how you have been loving them. I look forward to reading you all's comments down in the comments section, and I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.